Welcome to Inside Gaming. I'm Brian. It's the Weekend Roundup. Nintendo has gone hard after some YouTube channels for using copyrighted music, issuing a bunch of strikes which have resulted in multiple channels shutting down. The popular Dutch YouTuber Gilvasunner, whose channel has more than 340,000 subscribers, tweeted a screenshot of dozens of copyright strikes his videos got from Nintendo, including music from Zelda Ocarina of Time, Super Mario World, Smash Bros. Brawl, and Fire Emblem Awakening. Above that shot, Gilvasunner wrote, "Game over." I say he was I don't know.
But sure, we'll go.
Their channel. In another post with even more screenshots, Gilvasunner wrote that Nintendo blocked 115 videos total. Dang. Saying they started manually with the most viewed content on the channel and are now going through the playlists one by one, I guess. Looking at the time of the claims, it seems like these are coming from Japan headquarters. Gilvasunner's channel is still up, but another channel, Brawl Burst MS3, was completely deleted from YouTube. The folks behind that channel said they've also taken down their site, which was known for uploading long loops of game music. Lots of people would play it in the background while they're working or studying. Brawl BRST MS3 wrote that the termination was unexpected, but we knew it would eventually happen. And they went on to warn that sharing music owned by other entities can yield repercussions. Part of the reason for our voluntary shutdown is out of respect for the copyright owners of all the music we've shared. Now, it seems like they definitely shut down their site. It's not clear if they voluntarily shut down their YouTube channel. Also, if it were the strikes, it's not clear. They did say they're not going to start another YouTube channel either. Meanwhile, another popular music account, Master Enix, also announced they were getting out of the music extensions game after 9 years. This, of course, has upset fans who say they don't have a lot of other options for finding this music online. The composer David Eric Ramos wrote, "I know copyright is complicated, especially internationally, but if Nintendo is going to start ripping down YouTube channels that have poured years into uploading these beloved soundtracks for all to hear, at least start uploading them to other digital platforms." Gilvasunner also included a plea to Nintendo writing, "Please put your soundtracks on Spotify and or other music streaming services. Namco, Square, Capcom, and others have already seen the light. When will you?" So does Nintendo have a right to do this? Yeah, it's their copyright and it's their content. Pretty much no one disputes that. But it does seem a little heavy-handed to go after some of their biggest fans, especially when lots of this music isn't available elsewhere. It's 2019. If you try to lock down your content like Nintendo does, the internet's gonna find a way to distribute it with or without your consent. It seems like the best course of action, in my opinion, is for Nintendo to do what others have done and put their music on a streaming service. That way, they can get paid, fans can easily access the music.
Right, even the band Tool recently gave in.
Oh, that's right.
You know,
Your favorite band.
Well, I'm a big fan.
You are Tool.
But
yes.
Hey. But, you know, they said that they would never do that because, for artistic reasons, they want people to listen to their albums all the way through in one sitting. And they recently, at the beginning of this month, said, "Nah, let's go ahead and put it out, and it's on Spotify, it's on Apple Music."
Yeah.
You know, Nintendo, do the same. Be like Tool, not a Tool.
I think there's just so long you can hold out and not give in and do it.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's just, people are going to put it up regardless, like we've seen now. Should people profit off it? No, absolutely not. That's not cool. But, you know, I see people's point. And this is like some iconic video game music.
Right, and it's like, if there's nowhere else to listen to it,
you're right.
You're doing a disservice not only like to your fans, but to yourself.
But this is Nintendo we're talking about. They've always uneasily existed with the internet. They have gotten a lot of criticism from YouTubers over the years for copyright striking videos with any of their game footage in it. This came up with Super Mario Odyssey a few years back. Lots of YouTubers got strikes just for using footage of the game in some reviews, something pretty much every other developer and publisher allows. Now, Nintendo did relax some of their rules in late 2018, right around the time that Smash Ultimate launched, to make it easier for content creators to get paid. The new rules in part said that Nintendo wouldn't mess with videos with unique commentary or creative input, meaning stuff like Let's Plays or live streams. Obviously, though, they drew the line at their music being reposted. Brawl BRST MS3 asked their fans to not try and re-upload music files, saying, "I understand a lot of people out there think they're safe from the law, but that's a dangerous mindset. Find other ways to voice your opinions to the music owners." That's good advice. So yeah, bad situation all around. Maybe one day Nintendo will upload their music to the internet so we can all enjoy it more. 2050, how about the year 3000? I don't know. All right, moving on, but still sticking with Nintendo. Are Super Nintendo games finally coming to the Switch? We got a clue recently. They might be. It looks like they're planning some SNES wireless controllers for the Switch thanks to an FCC filing that was posted on Reset Era. It shows photos of a new SNES controller that have been marked as confidential until next year. That's a good clue because you might remember they did a similar thing with the NES wireless controllers that launched at the same time they started rolling out classic NES games with the online service. So it makes sense that SNES games would be next. No official word for Nintendo yet, but fingers crossed. I'll play Super Metroid for the millionth time. I will. And Earthbound again. Borderlands 3 releases in about a month. Everybody's excited, especially me, and its studio, Gearbox, wants you to know that the game was not made under crunch conditions. Multiplayer producer Chris Brock told VG247 they are not a crunch studio, saying, we don't do the thing where we say, hey, everyone's going to be working 10 hours or 12 hours a day or whatever. We don't do that. He said, that can be hard though, because sometimes you have to tell people that they need to go home, get some rest, even when they want to stay and finish up something. But he added that it's important to avoid burnout and that it's a labor of love and you don't want to crush that. Crunch, it's obviously been a big deal lately with lots of studios coming under fire for work conditions, but hey, good on Gearbox if they didn't overwork people. Meanwhile, if you thought this was the last Borderlands game, Gearbox officials say nope. They still got more in the tank. In an interview with DualShockers, lead writer Sam Winkler said that Borderlands 3 is definitely a successor to all the games and it will tie off some threads, have some new threads, and definitely isn't the end of Borderlands in any way. Co-lead writer Danny Homan added there is always room for more story in Borderlands and that the writers are leaving room for more stories to be told. That's cool. Borderlands 3 is just around the corner. It launches on PS4, Xbox One, PC, September 13th. Now, we've been talking a lot about those proposed tariffs by the Trump administration on Chinese goods, which could affect the price of game consoles. Well, President Trump said recently that he is delaying the 25% tariffs so that shoppers can stock up for the holidays. The new date for the tariffs is December 15th rather than the original date of September 1st. That puts the deadline after the biggest shopping day of the year, Black Friday, aka the day after Thanksgiving. Now, Trump recently told reporters, what we've done, I was going to do a Trump impression, but I backed out. Trump recently told reporters, what we've done is we've delayed it so they won't be relevant in the Christmas shopping season, just in case they might have an impact on people. Now, all three of the big console makers have condemned the proposed tariffs on Chinese imports into the US. Nintendo's even moved some Switch production to Vietnam to get around it.
But Brian, I thought that these tariffs were great for the American people. Why would we push them out if the cost isn't going to go to the consumer?
He's admitting that, they're going to filter down to the consumer because we have to pay them.
Yes.
So it's funny, they're going to be great. They're going to be great after December 15th, though. Developer Charlie Cleveland said he made a mistake when he said that online retailer G2A owes his studio $300,000. Cleveland, who founded Unknown Worlds, which made Subnautica, recently said that G2A owed him the money because one of his games, Natural Selection 2, was fraudulently sold on G2A. Now, of course, many developers over the years have accused G2A of being a gray market for selling stolen keys or keys purchased cheaply in other regions, but in this case, G2A said they weren't around in 2013 when Valve deactivated over 1,300 Steam keys for Natural Selection 2 that were bought with stolen credit cards. The losses totaled $30,000, and you might remember, G2A recently offered to pay any developer 10 times the amount they lost on such chargebacks, hence Cleveland's demand for $300,000. But Cleveland later told Kotaku it appears that G2A was correct in that one case. So they don't owe him $300,000, but he says they're still shady as hell. He said they weren't the source of these original $30,000 keys. It doesn't look like they were selling gray market keys at the time we had all those chargebacks, but they've been doing it ever since. Just gotta get that little singer at the end.
It's the weekend roundup, comment roundup.
From last week's video, we were talking about loot boxes and how they were, they're now going to start
revealing
odds and everything. A lot of people had some interesting comments down in the comment section. MaxterTube said, a good news day. This is a start at least.
Yeah.
And I agree.
Yeah, some people didn't feel like that was the console makers caving in. They took issue with our headline for the story. But previously, they've just had loot boxes with no sort of regulation or anything. I feel like disclosing the odds is them backing off. somewhat. Right. I think they're not going to ban them all unless they are made to by like the government. So I think this is them trying to reach some sort of compromise.
Right, and let's be honest, they're a self-regulated industry that nothing is ever going to go from we're doing this to we're not doing this at all ever again and right now.
It makes them too much money. They're not going to just get rid of them again unless they are legally forced to. And I think dropping them in Belgium and the Netherlands is one thing. No offense to those countries, but those are small markets like the U.S., China, Japan, the UK, the larger EU. I don't know. I think they're going to put up a fight, and I think this is the first part. But I think it's interesting because I do think they're backing down, or I do think they're showing some signs of, okay, all right, we'll back off a little bit. I think they'll even change the ratings, possibly, if they have to.
Right. I think this is the first step. I don't think this is the last step.
I don't think so either.
And them making any steps at all, to me, big deal.
Yep. Cool. I agree.
All right, that's it. That's the Common Roundup.
All right, let's move on to some games coming out next week. Up first, it's Remnant from the Ashes. This third-person action survival shooter is set in a post-apocalyptic world overrun by monstrous creatures. That always seems to happen. You're part of the last remnants of humanity, and it's up to you to battle the hordes, defeat epic bosses, and try to reclaim the lost world. You can do this by yourself or with up to 2 friends via online co-op. It's coming out for PC, PS4, and Xbox One August 20th. This next game is rad, and I'm not just saying that because I'm old. That's the name of it, rad, all capital letters, and it takes place in a post-apocalyptic world. That's right, double post. The world has ended twice in rad. That is rad. Anyway, it's a 3D action roguelike where you're armed with only a bat and must head out into a radioactive wasteland known as the Fallow. Fallow? But being in the Fallow comes with a cost. The longer you're there, the more your body mutates and changes you into something less than human. The good news is these mutations give you new powers. This sounds like some Fallout, like some bootleg Fallout a little bit. So anyway, Rad is releasing on August 20th for PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Up next from Tokyo RPG Factory, it's Oninaki. According to the description, reincarnation is the foundation of our way of life. We celebrate the lives we've been given and offer up our prayers for the next. It is grief of death which shackles the living and causes the dead to stray. Indeed, there is no greater affront to reincarnation, so do we turn our grief to joy as we send off the dead. But the souls of those who held back their tears in life still need salvation in death, a duty that falls to the watchers. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. You play as one of those watchers where you'll take part in that fast-paced action with real-time battles and an ability to customize your character by binding them with different demons. You can grab this one on PC, PS4, and Switch August 22nd. Porting over to the PS4, it's Black Desert. This MMORPG has you slaying monsters, defeating abominations, and even battling gods. Or you can craft, fish, and cook. Whatever floats your boat. It promises incredible customization tools so you can make the character that truly represents you, a massive open world, and action-packed combat built upon chaining together combos to do massive damage. It'll be available on PS4 August 22nd. And finally, Super Dodgeball Beats combines the crazy action of dodgeball with rhythm game elements to create the world's first ever rhythm sports game. The game has local multiplayer support, including couch co-op, along with a single-player mode that challenges you to lead your team to become the greatest dodgeball team in the galaxy. You'll play against vampires, thunder-infused ancients, a tentacle monster. Oh boy, that's not gonna end well. And more. It's coming out on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch August 22nd. All right, that's all we got for you today. Hope you have a great week, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Are you ready for another G2A story? No? Well, are you ready for another developer dunking on G2A story?
Thought so.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, the infamous online realtor. I am realtor. Give me your game keys. Yes, the infamous online retailer got owned once again after a prominent developer informed them that they